Now we are trying to get some answers for our viewers after a voter just told us that when she went to the precinct on the east side where she normally votes, that she feels that she is concerned that her ballot may not be counted.
In fact, she used the word voter suppression. This is not the first problem that has arisen this morning. News4JAX reporter and anchor Melanie Lawson is at the Supervisor of Elections office this morning. And Melanie, you're in a position where you can get some answers. So what gives?
I am, Bruce and Jen. This is a very important election, and people want to make sure that their votes are counted, and there is a process for that. They want to come in. If they chose today to vote, fill it out, see it actually go into the machine, knowing that it will be tabulated. There has already been at least one problem today where one of the machines wasn't working. That is something that they prepare for also here at the Supervisor of Elections office. So to get the woman answers, because as you heard, she feels insecure. She feels like maybe her vote won't count. How does she know that someone wouldn't tear it up or throw it away? Again, there's a diverse group of poll workers who are in that room making sure that everyone's vote counts, and there has to be some trust in the process. So I want to bring in Mike Hogan, Supervisor of Elections, to talk about this, because you can understand. Yes. She waited for today. She filled out her ballot. She wanted to see it go into the machine and be tabulated, yet it went into a locked box. Can you explain how something like that can happen?
Yes. All of our equipment is electronic, and it can fail. And if it does fail, typically it's power situation. But we have best practices. If that does occur, we have to continue voting. And so each of our DS 200s are equipped with what we call the emergency bin. And it is an emergency bin if we have to use it. It's locked, and then if it's not feeding, then the voter's going to have to put that ballot in that emergency bin. And again, it's locked. And you already mentioned we have party diversity out there. Everybody's looking at everybody in our offices. We want to make sure that the voter is comfortable. The other thing is that we won't feed it until after the poll closes, 7 o'clock or after the poll closes. And so we invite that person to come back to watch us feed those ballots that went into that emergency bin.
Right, and obviously that's inconvenient, but this is a woman who said, hey, I want to see it. I'm going to come back. So what should she do? Because it's when the closed poll, it's not when the polls close, not right at 7. If there's a line, she won't be able to get in there until the last person does vote.
That's right, because we can't stop until we've had service the last person that was in line at 7 o'clock. So yes, it's very inconvenient. It's not something that we like to have, but it's just our only option to protect the voter and to protect the system as it relates to ending on time, beginning on time, and so we got to keep voting during the day.
Yeah, and one thing she also pointed out is that your name isn't on your ballot either. It's a number, so she won't physically see her ballot going in. How can she assure that it's in there? No,
she never will be able to know, because Florida protects the secrecy of the ballot. I don't even know whose vote is what on a ballot. So that's the beauty of having diversity out there, because there's not going to be any cheating. If you've got a Democrat and a Republican in the same room, they're going to be protecting everything, as you can imagine.
And I guess when you are assigning poll workers, is that something that you consider, that you want to make sure that you do have a mixed group?
Oh, yes, we have to do that. That's one of our most important features, is that we have diversity in each precinct.
Mr. Hogan, if you could just tell our viewers, because we are going to maybe have some small minor hiccups throughout the day, and everyone's emotions high. Everyone feels like they've done a lot of things to make sure that their vote counts, that they get out and vote. Just what can you say to just assure that everything is in place, and that throughout this day and tomorrow, and if it goes beyond that their vote matters and it will be counted?
Well, a lot of that has to go back with planning. Number one, we pre-position tabulators in the field all over Duval County. Number two, we have techs in the field, and there was about 10 different precincts that have to service. Right now we're down to 4 to 5, so they can get in very quickly and fix any equipment that may break down. So we're always planning for the worst case scenario. And again, with the diversity in the room and the fact that the person has put their ballot in, they've still put it in the tabulator, it just hasn't been counted. It's going to be counted, and we are very sorry about that. And we struggle hard. every single tabulator was retested between each election this year. So these tabulators have gone through 3 elections. Each time we pre-tested before they go into action again. And we also have a test that's for the public to see and how that works, and testing the equipment to make sure that it's accurate.
Thank you so much. Trying to be as transparent as possible. Just keeping in mind that it may not be the answer that this woman wants to hear, but this is best practices. It's the system, and it's what's in place to make sure that these votes do eventually get counted once the polls close. We are live at the Supervisor of Elections Center. Melanie Lawson, back to you guys.